We continue to spotlight various local hockey programs around Cape Breton Island. Tonight we're looking at the Membertou Miners of the Nova Scotia Junior Hockey League of the Junior B ranks, joined now by President and Head Coach of the team, Ryan Boutilier. Ryan, a 5-2 start for your team. You must be happy with that.
For sure. Anytime you can start with that type of record is great. It's a very competitive junior hockey league. So we had a little bit of a slow start, losing the first two games. After a little bit of team building and some bonding and stuff, and a few practices to kind of figure out our lineup, head in the right direction, winners of the last 5.
Every hockey league, the Q, no exception, is trying to remake itself in the wake of COVID-19. How normal is this year in the Junior B loop compared to last year? Are things getting back to the way they were before?
We're starting to get back to normal a little bit. When you look at 2 years ago, we were fortunate enough to get to the divisional finals, and it was kind of put to a halt there. Then last year, you kind of build your team up again, and you get to the league finals, where it was put on halt in the league final after a 1-1 series with East Hand. So we're finally getting back to having a little bit of normalcy, having some people back in the building, which is a huge thing for junior hockey.
What have the crowds been like? Have people re-embraced the team in Membertou?
They really have. If you look at going back basically 2 to 3 years ago, when we could have some fans in, say there was 300 to 400 fans in a game. We're back up to say 500-600 now, which is wonderful. We hope to kind of build on that, but that fan base definitely helps this team moving forward.
What does your schedule look like in terms of how many games you play, and how often are the Miners on the ice practicing?
Most of our games are Saturday night. We play a 36-game schedule, 18 home and 18 away. Most of our players are either in university, community college, or working, so our league is kind of set up where it's just mostly stuff on the weekends. We do practice 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday sometimes, depending on our schedules. And they're mostly later night practice at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night to allow our players and students first to be able to go to university and to complete the work and stuff like that. For most of our players, it's university first and hockey second, but they still have that competitive edge to move forward and to win.
Obviously, the team is doing well to start the season, so I'm assuming some of the key players around the league play for your club. Who are some of the stars that are skating for the Miners this year?
There's no doubt we're lucky with any good quality team. It starts with our goaltending. We're very lucky to have 3 quality goalies there, led by Spencer Shabib, who's a kind of a third-year guy that's kind of getting his opportunity to be the guy right now, but also challenged by goaltenders Hunter Chanhal and Josh Ludi. So we're lucky there. Then you go into our back end. We have 5 out of 8 defensemen have junior A experience, which is definitely a big help. And then we move to our forward guys with guys like Ashton Pollard, our captain, who has been a real leader with our team, guys like Cody Grove, Josh McKay, just a really close-knit group that work very well together.
A lot of leagues have moved to streaming and such so that people can keep track on the team even if they can't make it out to the games. Has there been any web access to the Miners either at home or away this year?
There has been. We have an excellent video guy who is also our director of operations, Greg Meich. He live streams every game, home and away. There's sometimes when we're on the road that kind of the web access, it goes to the home team. So he has to kind of check that first, but every game is live streamed. I believe that is helping our team kind of bring fans into our own building, as well as helps out on the road a little bit for other teams with sponsorships and things like that.
People can watch on the web, but they might also watch and see it's pretty good hockey and they want to come out, which I guess is the goal at the end of the day.
Exactly, and I think that's where our fan base is starting to grow even that much more. Some people are still a little bit nervous, but they're watching the games online and they see that it's good quality hockey. It's really changed in the last, say, 10 to 12 years, where that goon mentality is gone now. We have players that are basically going to university, they're working, they have to get up the next day and kind of move forward. We're trying to really build that quality product, and that's just building on previous people that have been here in the past.
Also talked in the past about the partnership with Membertou, which has really become a home for a lot of high-end teams in the community, including yours, and now the Membertou Miners name attached to this team. How much has all that meant the last few years?
It's been wonderful. I had some meetings with council, with Chief Terry Paul and council, and they've been seconded on. And dealing with Paul Carroll, the rink manager, has been excellent. And one of the things with Paul that I really like is that how well he treats everybody. It's not just our team. I kind of watch from a distance and how he treats, whether it's high school or the major midget team or the girls team, minor hockey or his rentals. Everybody gets treated very fairly. He tries to work with all the teams. So that means a lot to us, although we're one of the main tenants kind of in that building. It's very equal and fair what goes on there. That just proves kind of a quality person they have there and what's looking after the Membertou as a whole.
I know it's kind of looking ahead, but obviously a good start to the season for this team. What was your vision of where this team could be at the beginning of the year? Are you aiming for a championship this year? Is that a goal?
There's no doubt. The last 2 years, we come up a little bit short in the sense of COVID, where it was a divisional finals and it's kind of stopped as we're on the bus heading into Ganesh. And then you look at last year, it was in the league finals against East Hands, 1-1 coming back home, and it was kind of put to a halt. There wasn't even really goodbye said to those teams. It was just kind of, you know what, we'll pick our gear up in months to come when we're able to get back into the dressing room. So this year's team is definitely a little bit younger, But anytime you have your practices and you have 25, 26 guys still showing up to practice every night trying to get into that lineup, it means a whole lot to our coaching staff, our organization, and there's no doubt at the end of the day, we're looking to kind of win that championship. They kind of say through third time's the charm, so hopefully this year is the year that we kind of pull through, get through COVID, and to win a championship.
Unfinished business, perhaps, for the Membertou Miners. Well, we'll be watching for sure. Best of luck this season, Ryan. Thanks for telling us all about it.
Great. Thank you for your time.
That is Ryan Boutilier, president and head coach of the Membertou Miners of the NSJHL. You're listening to the intermission of Uniglass Plus, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.